guys, welcome to Nine Links. This is Alex. Alright, today I'm going to actually harvest the sweet olive silver. Here's scientific name right there for you, if you're wondering. Instead of, quite a few of my video, I call them olive scarlet gold. Give you a scientific name, so in case if you guys want to buy one. Anyway, as you can see this, I move it from the back to the front, so it's easier for me to cut the flowers down. Now, the reason I want to cut the flowers out is that there are a lot of flowers on there, and some of them are dry up, so it's time to cut them, or eventually they're going to dry and fall off. And as you can see over here, let me show you down the table. You see that? Those little ones, those are flowers falling. I cleaned it off already, but as you can see, let me show you. Flowers. There are so many of them. Not gonna harvest them. It's just waste. And plus, I drink tea and Chinese green tea, and put those in there. Makes the tea smell way better. And it's also sweet olive. It has medicinal purpose. Also, I'll post it right there, as you guys see. So there's so many of them, and it is a waste. So I'm going to go in and cut them out, and just show you the process. And also, sweet olive are known to bloom like crazy, and sometimes bloom till they die. It's a little crazy how much it's spent time to put out the flowers. And also, as a plant grower, you see that much flowers on your plants, you just feel the joy, and you do not want that joy to go to waste. In summertime, you have certain fragrance coming out. It's nice. In the fall time, you have sweet olive fragrance coming out, and also the flower is edible. And there's many ways to use the flowers. You can make a sweet olive cake, which is very popular in Asian culture. You can put them in the tea, and you can grind them up as powder. Just look it up on the internet. You'll find all different kinds of stuff. Apparently, I was just gonna use it for tea purpose. All right, and I'm gonna cut them out and just okay. All right. So harvesting flower is very easy. You just need to cut the stem off like this, and I'm going to just put this below, and just get my hands on the flower. And some of these flowers are actually dry, so by slight touch they fall off really easily. But there's one thing about this sweet olive is that so far out of all four sweet olives, this one tends to bloom the most. Well, I mean, it has been with me the longest. As you can see, this shoots coming out. So more flowers on the way. So and also when you do the harvesting on flowers, make sure the flowers are open, like this. And when the flower is still small, like this one right here, I don't know if you can see it. This one here is still small. It hasn't not even opened yet, so we're gonna leave those alone. We only harvest the one that's open, like these guys. You can see it's open. And down here, oh my God, this one, it's like 3 blooms at the same time. So one thing about sweet olive is that don't underestimate the flowers. Most people think that sweet olive's flower is not very showy. Some flowers' fragrance are powerful. They're annoying, and this doesn't smell as good. Like this one, it's already, see, you already dried. So that was a little late to harvest that side, but just poke it and just let it go. Oh, there are more down here. I'm probably expecting it to bloom or not. Like these guys, these are the perfect example of cut. Look at the flowers. It's like one little stem, like boom, it's like a firework. Right now, my basement, it's all smell like sweet olive. Not as strong, but it's very mild. I'm pretty sure if this were to plant outside in the right zone, right now, if you plant it on your front porch or backyard, it will smell very, very pleasant. Okay. So some of these are dry ones. Even they're dry, I still collect them. I mean, for the flowers that I harvest, eventually they will dry up too. And when we put in the tea and stuff, when it soaks in water, it brings the flavor out. Got more over here. Wow, smells good. You know, I might try to bake these, make a cake or something out of this. I'll do it myself. My wife don't want to do it. I'll do it myself. We'll see how it goes. Wow, look at this branch right here. See? The whole branch right here, top branch, is engulfed in flowers. Now, did I use fertilizer when I brought them in? No. Sweet olive, I told you guys before, they, look at that. They don't bloom, like, well, depends on which cultivar you have. This cultivar, it's silver cultivar, is they, and the silver, scarlet, and gold, they all bloom around. In the right zone, they all bloom around like toward end of October or November. Because of my zone, I had to take it inside, then it will bloom. Because if I leave it outside, they will die. The weather is just not suitable for them. So typically for me in my basement, usually bloom this time of year. October, November. Actually, it's supposed to bloom a lot earlier, but this year got a little delayed because the weather outside is still very nice. In the past years, it bloomed around like October, and they bloomed again around like around March, early March. So now it's blooming at what, December actually. Well, start blooming in November. It going into December right now, and right now outside temperature is still like around 69 degrees. My hands are a little shaking. I don't want to cut the leaves. They're a little tricky. Like this one, it's grow right around the leaves area. But you know, it's one of those things. You like plants, take extra steps. You know, extra couple days of sunlight, it's not that much anyway. And the same thing goes when you take the plant outside. Make sure the weather actually settle down at a certain temperature before you take it outside. Of course, I still envy all the people who lives in a good zone, you know, have the tropical plant, you can plant it outside. Maybe these people don't like tropical plants at all. But anyway, all right, let me see this. Oh, there's one down here. You know, I'm just using my hand to pluck it. It's faster that way. Maybe just be careful not to damage the leaf. So by harvest, well, not getting rid of it, harvest these flowers, you give not white I'm about to say white champagne. You give sweet olive more energy to go into bloom other flowers. That's how most plants work. When they grow flowers, they put a lot of energy growing them. So if you take the flower off, they'll grow more flowers. Same thing with the pruning concept. When you cut one branch off, they grow two branches. So they get more energy into other stuff. So if you just leave the flower on, you could, but it's not going to do much. Like for example, if you probably see these flowers, like these buds right down here, they are all still coming out. So, oh, this one, missed this one. When you look closely, silver olive, 4 petals, and inside there's a little thing. I don't know what you call it, but it's a flower pollen in the middle, inside. So, if you look at the Tianshan Taigut, the other cultivar I show you, instead of the middle part has a leaf also. So there's like 4 leaves, and then the middle part has another 4. I think 2 or 3 leaves. This one so far been very consistent in terms of blooming time, and this year has a lot more flowers. The reason being is that I put this in a really oh, this one looks pretty good, Mike. You know, that's fine. In a sunny area where it gets a lot of sunlight, and sometimes you wonder, like, oh, sweet olive get a lot of sunlight, why is it not blooming summertime? Well, it's saving up all the energies for the fall bloom time. So it's not a summer plant. Well, if you have a cultivar, 4-season cultivar, they might bloom summertime. I mean, they bloom all year round actually. Oh, this one dry. You know, it's easier to just get my hands in there and just pull them up. Well, you know what? I kind of feel bad. Kind of force. I don't typically like to just yank it out. I don't think that's good for the plants. Anyway, just find the section and then just minor tap on the scissor and they'll fall right off. And I'm pretty sure this sweet olive is pot bounded also. It's probably not that severe bounded, just by looking at the leaves and stuff, still growing okay. I will probably change pots maybe next year, or maybe next year close to summer. Remember about tropical plants, so far as I can see, that most of them likes pot bound. Giving them a little pot bound is not a bad idea. They tend to grow better. Water, it's more less problematic for them when you have a root bounded plant. Again, not heavily root bounded plant, just minor root bounded plants. They tend to use water more efficiently, and they don't get root rot right here that easily, because there are a lot of roots down there. When you water it and the mix is good, the water goes straight through and they take some part of the water. But it comes a problem when these plants in the summer, because you have to water more often. For the beginners, when you get into a plant, the first thing you want to do is don't water your plant too much. It'll cause root rot. So for beginners, if you want a good plant to start out with, don't start out with seedlings, cuttings, or just smaller plants. Spend extra money to buy a big one, and then once you get used to it, and then pot into a bigger pot, pot up to a bigger pot. So it gives you more control now. When you first buy it, don't eagerly change pot. You know, understand the plants first. What this plant's watering requirement, nutrient requirements, sunlight requirements. Once you understand those, take care of it for at least half a year, and see if you can do it. If it's in that, the plant's in its original container and you can't even take care of it and you killed it, what makes you think if you repot it you'll do better? I mean, nothing against you, but just saying it's better to practice when it comes in its original container. If you can take care of it that way, understand it, that's the main, very big part about understand your plants. Once you understand your plants, you go from there. Okay, that's almost most of the flowers. I think there's still some flower left and on there, just a small one. They haven't opened up yet, so I'm gonna give it some time. Meanwhile, move it back to the position. Right now, when I move it back to the position, you notice earlier I have my sweet olive actually facing, actually facing outward, and now I'm turning it around. So it's a good idea when you have a basement plant, you turn around once in a while to expose the other sides to the sun, so both sides get equal amount of sunlight. As you can see, all my leaves on this one currently kind of, if you look at it, it's facing this way. Because before I move it, rotate around, it was this side facing the outside window. So the leaves are facing this side to grab sunlight, and you can see the branch even tilted a little bit on the side of the sun. So by moving I think I talked about this before. Anyway, by moving the plants, rotating to this side, I give it a chance. I'm pretty sure give it about a week or two, this branch will tilt over there. So it kind of balance out the plant growth. You do not want to move, because of my basement, windows on one side, it's not like multiple sides. Some people can afford, they have make their own greenhouse, then it's perfectly fine. They get sunlight from all sides, all direction. But for this purpose, for my basement, I usually turn them around every 2 months or 3 months, and to give the plants equal amount of exposure on the other side, so their growth will be uniform. Instead of you'll see some plants, one side's growing really heavily and the other side's barely growing, and then it looks really odd. I mean, of course, if you're into a design like that, then go for it. But for me, I like most of my plant to be, in general, very bushy and very uniform. So moving it to this side, move this plant over a little bit, give it more breathing room. And then my Tianshan tiger over here is doing fine, and you see the leaves is also tilting towards sunlight. I'll probably rotate this one and the other ones soon after I examine and do maintenance on them. So there's still some flower left. Okay, that's about it today. Just to harvest the flower for food purpose, and also this amount of flower I harvest today. I don't know if you can see it. It's quite a lot. I'm pretty sure it'll gonna grow, bloom more, but these should be enough for quite some tea. Okay. All right, I'll see you guys later. Okay.